talk about personal mission statements, now we've looked at organizational mission statements. If we talk about personal mission statements, they focus the attention and energy of individuals. So individuals, as opposed to organizations, on those values considered most important. So you can see that from the mission statements we looked at from the organization, they're really trying to hone in on what's important and how are we going to get across what we're trying to deliver. So with a personal mission statement, it's exactly the same thing. What is really important and what kinds of avenues am I going to use to get across to other people the thing that's most important to me, that I'm most passionate about, and that I do the best. Okay, that's what a personal mission statement does. So a personal mission statement provides clarity and gives you a sense of purpose. It defines who you are and how you will live. So that's a very broad statement, but it's very powerful for you to think about in terms of personal mission. It's going to give you clarity and give you a sense of purpose. So many times people are going through their lives and they I don't really know what I want to do. I don't really know where I want to end up. So we've got some of you from high school, some of you from college, some of you from university, and maybe other people as well. But I can see that for people that are at the college or university age, and definitely high school, to be thinking about, I don't really know what I want to do with my life. I know I want to do something important. I know I want to do something with impact. I know I want to fulfill my dreams, but I don't know how, or maybe I don't know even what the dreams are. So a personal mission statement, which is what we're going to be working on today, gives you that clarity and that sense of purpose. All right. And because it's giving you that clarity and sense of purpose, that then it means it defines who you are and how you're going to live. It helps you make decisions about what you're going to do with your future. You know, so for instance, let's say you're a student and you're studying at university and you're studying in veterinarian medicine. So let's say that because now, Thursday is the new Friday, right? So it's Thursday, people start partying and going out to the bar and hanging out, etc. So let's say you have an exam on Friday that you've not prepared for, and your friends say, hey, we're all going to the bar tonight, come hang out with us. If you've made the decision that you are going to follow through on your education and you know you have an exam tomorrow that you've not prepared for, there is no decision to make. You don't have to go, I wonder if I should go out and hang out with my friends, get home like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, have my exam at 9 a.m. I haven't prepared for it. I wonder if I should just take the chance. It's not even a question. You have already decided by the choices that you've made that going out on Thursday night when you have an exam tomorrow that you haven't prepared for, that is not an option. And it just makes the decision for you. You don't have to hem and haw. You don't have to wonder. You don't have to weigh out pros and cons. You just go, no, I won't be doing that tonight. I've got something else more important. And so that's how a personal mission, when you understand where you're headed and where you want to end up, that's why a personal mission clarifies things for you, clarifies choices and decisions. And you can apply that to many areas of life where you're being encouraged to do something that you know is not going to bring you in the direction of your personal mission. So then what do? You don't have to decide, you just already know what the decision is. Let's look at some personal mission statements, and I start with my own. And I'm going to tell you some very important things as we look at this mission statement, because these things inform everything about choices, decisions, and directions that I take. Now, my personal mission, because I discovered it at the age of about 44, 45, maybe 46. So, I've been living this mission for more than 20 years. So I really understand why I think what I think, and I really understand how to use the power of this mission statement to inform my direction. So I'm going to take a little bit of time, because that's coming from my personal point of view, and I think you can learn a lot just by understanding how I think through opportunities that are presented to me. So my personal mission statement is to inspire, educate, and empower people and organizations to achieve their peak potential in human communication and life purpose through evolutionary change. Now, all of those words, aside from the conjunctive words, are really important. They were chosen for a reason. Okay, like evolutionary change. People say, what is that? People have called me a change evolutionist. I had a client said, you know what, you are a change evolutionist. And I thought that is such a powerful term to describe what I really believe change is about. And so that's why I said that I'm going to take that. I'm going to accept that, and that's what I'm going to call myself. I'm a change evolutionist, because I really believe that when we think about change, so many people think about change as being a drastic thing. It's like a right-hand turn on the road. It's like a U-turn to go back in a different direction. And anytime you do change like that, you will, it's human nature, just drift back to business as usual. So you make a change, a right-hand turn like that, and you go, you're really motivated, and then, you know, after a while, it starts to drift back to business as usual. For example, I've been going to the gym for about, I don't know, 7 or 8 years. And I don't ask, when I'm going to, when it's a gym day, I don't ask my body if it wants to go. There's no option for me. And this is a gym day, I'm going to the gym. I go early in the morning. So I get up, I go to the gym. I don't ask myself how I feel. Do I feel like going? I just do it. And, but so I've been through many cycles now of seeing this. January, the gym is full. Even at early in the morning, there's a bunch of people there. And so these people have made their New Year's resolutions, right? And by the end of January, beginning of February, there's less people. And by the 1st of March, it's just all the same regulars that have always been there. And that is what happens to us as human beings. When we try to make that change, a right-hand turn, okay, that's it. I'm getting there, starting January 1st, man, I'm gonna get in shape. And it lasts for a little while. It lasts as long as our motivation lasts. And then we just sort of drift back to business as usual, and before you know it, we're following the same path we followed before. So I believe that change is an evolution. If you make incremental changes, that's how you change direction. I'm going to do something different here. I'm going to experiment with something here. I'm going to try a little something here, and you will look back then and look at your life and say, I am completely different than I was 3 or 4 or 5 years ago. And you know what? I didn't even notice I was making those changes, but I made incremental decisions, one after the other, each one taking me in the direction of a change. Anyway, that's about evolutionary change. But I really want to talk to you about these first 3 key words: to inspire, educate, and empower. So I have found throughout the course of my life that I do have the ability to inspire some people. Not everybody, but some people. Some people are inspired by what I talk about, what I teach, what I do. And I found that those people that I can inspire, if they will allow me to inspire them, then chances are they will allow me to educate them about the things I know about. And some things that I know about is exactly what I'm talking to you about today: personal mission. So if you allow me to educate you, if I've inspired you to connect with the concept, connect with the idea, then if I can educate you about what it is and what you need to do to implement it in your life, then I know that I can empower you, because if you take the principles that I'm talking about, you will be empowered. So the way this works in my life, because of all the different things that I do, I'm asked to do many different things, many different things. And the first thing I do when I'm asked to do something is I run it internally through this grid. Will it allow me to inspire, educate, and/or empower? If the answer to that is no, my answer is no. It doesn't matter how good the money is. It doesn't matter who it's going to put me in touch with. It doesn't matter, what if it sounds like a great opportunity. It doesn't matter if doing it would take me on a trip to Bahrain. It doesn't matter. If the answer is no, then my answer is no. And there's a few reasons for that, which I'm going to get to in a minute. If my answer is yes, yeah, there's a potential here for this to cause me to inspire, educate, and/or empower someone. Then I have to figure out, is it something that I want to do? Is it something that will fit within my schedule? Is it something that I can commit to and say, I'm going to be there, and then keep that commitment? And so once I take it through that process, then if the answer is yes, then my answer is yes. Exactly what happened here. So Cassandra contacted me because she'd been a student of mine at university, and she said, I'd like you to talk about personal mission. Well, of course, as soon as she says personal mission, like she knew that was my hot button, right? So she said, we want to talk about pursuing passion, and can you talk about personal mission? So right away, if I run it through the grid, will it allow me to inspire, educate, and/or empower? maybe. And so then I cannot say no. Then I have to say yes. Okay, now I need to look at if it fits in my schedule, if I'm going to be able to do this. Now, when I make that decision, it doesn't matter how many people are there or where they're coming from. My goal when I'm doing exactly what I'm doing today, my goal is to touch one person and cause them to make a change that they're going to take with them for the rest of their life. If I do that today, then I've done my job. If I inspire more people, if I educate and empower more people, that's great. That's gravy. That's bonus. But for me, if it's even one person that I can impact, then I've done my job and I fulfilled my mission. Now, here's a couple of other things that are really important about this, because I want you to understand how personal mission can really guide and direct your life. Now, I realize I'm probably a little bit further down the road in terms of understanding my personal mission than maybe a lot of you listening to me are, and that's totally okay. But you'll grow and you'll understand what I'm talking about in the years to come if you take on the challenge of writing out a personal mission statement. So let's say someone asks me to do something, and I say the internal grid answer for me is no, will not allow me to inspire, educate, and or empower. But I say yes because maybe the money's really good, or maybe I'm going to be able to work with somebody I've always wanted to work with, and so this would be a great opportunity. There's a few things that are going to happen. One is that I'm going to spend an enormous amount of energy preparing a mediocre product, because this is not what I'm good at. If I stepped outside of my personal mission, I stepped outside of my lane. And now I'm doing something that is not my gifting, that's not my calling, that's not my area of expertise. And that means then, excuse me, that means that it's going to take me an enormous amount of energy to put together and deliver a mediocre product. And it's going to be mediocre because this is not my area of expertise. So I get the dissatisfaction of working really hard and producing something I'm totally really not happy with. My client, whoever it was that engaged me to do this, receives a mediocre product. And for me, this is the most important aspect. What I've done by saying yes when the answer should have been no is I have robbed the person whose gift it is to do that thing of the opportunity to do it well and to do it with impact. So I see this as it's a very concrete grid for me, that when I run it through this grid, this is a very concrete answer for me. And I have learned to not step outside of my zone, to not step outside of my lane, because I'm robbing somebody whose gift it is to do that job of the opportunity to deliver a very powerful and impactful product. Let's look at, this is Oprah's mission statement: to be a teacher and to be known for inspiring my students to be more than they thought they could be. Well, anybody who knows Oprah or knows her work, I think she fulfills this mission statement brilliantly. She teaches for sure. I mean, every setting you see her in, she's trying to find a way to bring the impact of what she's doing or the person that she's talking to make it real for people, and to make it in such that this is something that can apply to their life today. So I think she does this very well. And to be known for inspiring my students to be more than they thought they could be, I don't think there's any question. I think she does that very well. These are mission statements that have come from some of the students that I've taught just in the last couple of semesters. Okay, this person said, I aspire to take each mistake and use it as a learning opportunity. Think about what an impact that would have if you said, everything that happens to me that is what I consider to be a mistake, I'm gonna turn it into a learning opportunity. Well, we all know as human beings that usually where we learn the most is in failure as opposed to success. That's where we're, and one of the reasons is because that's where we're asking the questions. Oh no, what did I do wrong? What went wrong there? What happened? I don't understand. And when we are successful, we have a tendency to just say, yeah, I know, I did it, so what? And we take it for granted, and we assume things about it that we don't analyze it, and we don't reflect on it. But when we experience mistakes or what we consider failures or what feels like a failure, it inspires the question. And then the question creates the learning opportunity. This is another one, my students, to continue believing in myself, staying patient and persistent when there are obstacles in the way of reaching my goals, and being able to share my dedication and motivation to inspire others. Wow, that's a very powerful statement. And think about how it informs, with this student, think about how it informs what they're doing. So if they're looking at their personal mission statement, and I really encourage students, when you've written it, get it somewhere in front of you where you see it all the time. Make it your desktop, your screensaver on your desktop, or put it up at your office, or hang it on your mirror in the bathroom, or put it on the fridge in the kitchen. But put it somewhere where you can see it all the time. And look at that. And if this student is doing that, think about to continue believing in myself. And let's say they come out of a day where they just, I blew it so bad, and I don't think I can ever do this again. And they see the personal mission statement says, I'm going to continue believing in myself. Wow, that brings them up short. Are you following your personal mission, or are you getting down now into the dumps about something? Just the way they wrote this, I'm thinking that maybe patience and persistence are a challenge for them. So imagine what this will do if they're saying, I'm going to stay patient and persistent when there are obstacles. Some people say, well, yeah, I'll be patient and persistent until they have an obstacle. And then all of a sudden, all the patience goes out the window, and all the persistence, they just give up. They say, well, what am I going to do? What's the person supposed to do? Now, if you see yourself as a person who confronts obstacles and your response to them is patience and persistence, that's a very powerful way of seeing yourself. This one, to wake up every morning to become a better version of myself, helping ensure that every day I grow closer towards achieving my personal, financial, and professional goals. This is a very powerful statement as well. And if you're doing a personal mission statement, it doesn't have to be this long. You might be more concise. You might have a better idea of exactly what you want to accomplish that you can put into just a few words that are very powerful for you. But that's the thing about the personal mission statement. They need to be words that are powerful for you. They don't have to be powerful for anybody else, but if they're powerful for you, they should be so powerful that if someone says to you, what does that word mean? They say, what's your personal mission? And you say, so a better version of myself. Okay, that's very general. Somebody says, what does that mean? You should be able to articulate very clearly what that means. What does it mean to be a better version of yourself? What are you talking about? And what does better look like? What is better different from best? Is better different from what is today? What are you talking about when you talk better? And you should be able to say what that is.